Well, hey everybody, it's Biff Bufflington here with my new series on my channel called Biff After Dark. Tonight we're going to be nominating for Bufflington's Choice Award, number 3 in the series if you're keeping track at home. This is a nice little game that was given to me on my birthday by Dance Floor Dale. You can find Dale's info in the description of this video, as well as a shout out to the creator of the game, and a little nod to Humble Bundle as well, which is a great place to find gems of games just like this one here. So without further ado, Biff Bufflington is about to introduce you to the world of Inscryption. The first thing I noticed about this game that was unusual is I was unable to start a new game. I tried, but it wouldn't let me. So apparently, I had to continue a game that I'd never played before. Now, I'd played this game before. I knew I was going to wake up, stare across the table at a pair of mysterious eyes. Sometimes I wish I hadn't done away with Grimora. Those eyes. She, at least, was a worthy opponent. Now you can see on the side that I have amassed some treasures. A hook, a bottle of squirrel. In my hand I have a canister of film. Are you paying attention? Keep your mind focused on the game. So that's a squirrel in a bottle and a dagger stuck to the table. This is my opening deck for the game. It consists of a bullfrog, a stoat, stink bug, and a spirited wolf. The last 3 have messages periodically on the top where their nameplates are, giving you hints and clues as you play along. As you sit back in your chair, the game board is revealed, and you move your piece through the forest. The first stop is an easy one. Choose a card. It'll help you on your quest. 2 creatures and what's known as a death card. I told you I'd played before. The card I was choosing was one of my death cards. Now there's 2 ways to go. As Yogi Berra said, when you come to a fork in the path, take it. One is a backpack. That means you will get loot for your backpack, but you can see I already had 3 pieces. The other is an altar where you can sacrifice sigils and apply them to new cards. Having such a new deck, it wasn't worth doing that. I won't allow you to take more items, said the face. Instead, take this. And behold, a pack rat came out, bearing a card of the pack rat. 2 damage, 2 health, and the pack rat ability sigil. Never doubt the utility of a well-stocked bag. Which brings up our first combat, which is an interesting combat because it's a sigil totem combat. The faceless one puts together his sigil with a wolf head and a fish tail, meaning that any wolf cards will be able to submerge per the whale tail sigil. This will allow them to avoid combat in between rounds. The first card I have to play can't cost anything, not bones, not blood. The squirrel, thankfully, doesn't require any cost, and it's perfect to sacrifice. I have one in a bottle for just such an occasion. Now I can summon both the stunted wolf by sacrificing squirrel number 2, and also bullfrog by sacrificing squirrel number 1. Each squirrel sacrificed yields a bone chip to the boneyard, and Stinkbug requires 2 bone chips to be summoned, so welcome aboard, Stinkbug. Now I ring the bell and let them do their damage, and collect teeth for each point of damage delivered. These weigh down the scales of battle in my favor. The Stoat, the last of the Wise Guy cards in my deck. He requires a blood sacrifice, but I don't have a squirrel to sacrifice. You needn't sacrifice a squirrel. Goodbye, Toad. Ring the bell, do the damage, collect the teeth, and win. Sigil deactivated. Move on, Biff. It's time to select cards once again. A death card, but that's not me. Feels bad, Lewis. Appendix 12, subsection 6, abilities 3. The Sprinter, he moves to the side. Waterborne. This sigil submerges itself during opponent's turn. While submerged, opposing creatures attacks its owner directly and not the creature. Ability 13. There's the Bullfrog. I have one. His sigil prevents flying attacks. And Ringworm. You. Take the frog, Biff. You'll see, eventually, that having 2 of one card can come in quite handy, especially when faced with a choice like this. Warming a creature by the fire can yield benefits, but there's danger as well. Behold, this particular campfire will increase your HP by 2. But there's 5 hungry strangers that explore, that would be happy to eat your sacrifice rather than watch it yield power. Having 2 bullfrogs? I don't feel bad about that. If he does get eaten, there's replacement. If he doesn't, his hit points will come to 4. Risk it, biscuit, Biff. Risk it for the biscuit. Bullfrog it is. Ah, the card flips, the points increase. Surely your creature could become more powerful. The hungry strangers tempt. But you need to risk another moment by the fire. Another moment by the hungry strangers. You could press the plus again and get 6, but no, now is prudent time to remove the bullfrog from the fire and continue your journey. Run away, Biff. Back to the map. Another combat. Behold, the board has trees on it. Trees block, 1 per side. I have 2 candles. If your candles are snuffed, so is your life. There's also the Fisherman's Hook won in a previous battle. This will allow me to pull one of the opponent's cards over to my side. This can be used only once. There's a coyote in the wings and a porcupine ready to pounce. There's 2 cards I can play with the current situation I have. Squirrel will be sacrificed for Stunted Wolf. Ring the bell. Deal the damage, take the teeth. Coyote attacks and kills the Stunted Wolf. Sacrificial squirrel down again. Bullfrog down. Stinkbug. By porcupine, Stinkbug's fumes drop the attack. of the opponent directly across from the stink bug. You can see the porcupine is yielding 0 attack points now. And that coyote is barking up the wrong tree. The Biff death card. Ring the bell, do the damage, take the teeth. Combat goes on. This may have been a mistake, taking the pack rat. Ring the bell. He offers an olive branch. I can end this round with a victory. Or I can continue on and try and deal damage, yielding more teeth, yielding a bigger prize at the end. I ring the bell. I take another card. The Stoat. Ring the bell. And I do. The teeth are collected. The Stoat is now in play. The bell is rung. Another squirrel? No. Time for the bullfrog? No. Biff can't be played. Do the damage. Now the squirrel cometh. Sacrifice for the bullfrog. Full plate on Biff's side. No cards left for the enemy. Can't play the Biff card, so ring the bell, do the damage, and collect the extra teeth while he holds out his olive branch of peace. Not today. This is a choose a card option. The other was a fur trading temple, but I have no fur at this point. The beaver. How Canadian. Of course I'm going to take the beaver. Take the beaver, Biff. You know you want to take the beaver. Oh, Biff. Very un-Canadian Biff. Now we can look. Supplement our backpack. Oh, a pair of pliers. What on earth could they be good for? Well, we'll take them and find out. The hourglass. Appendix 12, subsection 9. The hourglass prevents the opponent from taking one turn. Move ahead, Biff. There's only one place to go. And I do. And there it is. Another sigil trophy battle. This time, it's the deer head that has the aquatic abilities, as well as the sideways shunting movement. Doe, a deer, Appendix 12, subsection 6. Ability 6. The Burrower. Card bearing that sigil will hop over to an empty space about to take damage and deflect said damage. It has a beefy amount of hit points. That is a good card. I can't play any cards except for my squirrel at this particular moment. So, leaves me with very few alternatives. I could take this knife out of the table, for example, when I'm feeling threatened. If I do take the knife out, what would I do with it but stab my eye? Take it out and drop it on his scale to dip it in my favor. Now my vision is blurred and bloody, but I have the advantage. Which card do you take, Biff? Are you panicking now? You look bleary-eyed from one card to the next. You pick up a single-digit sacrificial card. Biff, what are you doing? Your eye loss has driven you mad. The scales tip further in the favor of your enemy. Now you have an option, Biff. You can play the squirrel for the sacrifice. You can drop the kingfisher down. The kingfisher will attack now when you ring the bell. And he does. The scale tips in your favor. But not any longer. You need to think of something, Biff. In a hurry. Panicky. You try and play a card before you've drawn your lot. You pick up another squirrel. You can play the stink bug, should you? Or do you grab the pliers? Stink bug. The stink bug stares blankly back at you, but you can play it, and you do play it. The number 2 position. That's all you can play. Ring the bell. Stinkbug doing his job mitigating damage dealt. Biff picks up the bullfrog. The squirrel may be sacrificed, and is, in order to get the bullfrog on the board. Biff slaps the bell. More damage. Blocked. 1 tooth. Tipping the scales. No damage done by the opponent. Choices to be made, Biff. Sacrifice of the kingfisher. Bad play, says the little rat. He does his job. Biff panicking now, bleeding from one socket where his eye used to be just a short time ago, sacrificing cards that do damage. 2 damage. Scales tip. Biff still alive. Panicking now, setting in, wondering if he can play the Biff card now. Not yet. Take a squirrel, take a card. He takes a card. Now what, Biff? Panic is surely setting in. He rings the bell. 2 points damage down, and that is the end of battle. At what cost? I imagine you'd like to replace that eye you lost, said the face. And I look and I see the Doctor Strange eye is available. I've tried many. This is my favorite. Messages show up. Happy with that one? The voice says to me, and I am. Before I go further, I stand up from the table, look around the room to see what this eye reveals. There's a hammer, and there's a scepter. And there's the tome of information and a couple of toadstools. The cuckoo clock has been opened. The eye reveals the time. If you're smart, you can figure it out without the big reveal. The cards, you need to play those cards in that order to reveal a prize. You also have to survive the combat to collect the prize. The very first puzzle that I opened was the safe. The door can't be opened from this way. There's a figurine to collect to play on the board. The door that isn't openable. Candles up above. Not clickable. Sheep's head that ding-dongs when you tickle it. Another puzzle game, much like the old Mastermind game. I just randomly slid the sliders, hit the round button, and it tells you how many of them you have right. It's a rather intricate puzzle, though, and it takes some figuring out. I was able to open all 4 doors. I considered this a win. You can see candles off to the side. They do nothing in the game. There is a cage that was broken. If you zoom in on the skull, you can take teeth to add to your bounty, mush some toadstools, and spin the globe. For no reason at all, that cage that is destroyed held a wolf statue. The wolf statue was part of this collaboration. The squirrel was holding onto the dagger you saw me remove my eye with. These are the treasures that I've found wandering around this locked cabin. My fate appears to be to play cards with this faceless demon until I can defeat him. I've yet to do this. There's a fork in the road. Collecting more cards. It's always a good thing. River Snapper. Oh, I took that card way too fast. Whoa, Biff, take it easy. Backpack choices once again. Pliers. We still haven't seen the pliers do their thing. There's a bottle of black goat, which will give you, when sacrificed, 3 drops of blood rather than just the 1 you get from squirrels. Pliers it is. You seem to have a fetish. First boss, the Prospector. If you have 2 candles lit, that means you have 2 lives. He takes one away and replaces it with the smoke. The smoke will fill your boneyard with 4 chips when destroyed. The path ahead blocked by a grotesque figure. He puts on the mask of the Prospector. Stand in the way of me, go be darned. I have a boulder to block on my side. The stoat, the bullfrog, the squirrel, and the smoke. The key to this level is to finish him fast. There's things that happen that you're not expecting. You want the smoke to be destroyed. You want to put it in danger's way. The Bone King. 4 bones instead of 1 from Appendix 12, Subsection 6, Abilities 12. Now, the pack mule yields a treasure that can't be ignored. If you get that bounty, it will move to the left if unimpeded. To the right. His left. So, if you can block it with another card, you'll be doing something. And then you need to take 5 damage off of it to yield the treasure. I'll do 1 damage. Nothing very significant about that. 1 to the boneyard, and the bullfrog in the way, ring the bell. That'll be 1 tooth in the enemy's jar. There. The treasure's underneath the pack mule. The boneyard is full. Play a card. Pick a card. That's the one, Biff. Take the squirrel. Drop it down. Sacrifice it for the stoat. Fine, he says. Play the stink bug. You have a full boneyard. In it goes. Drops the attack of the coyote. Slap the bell. Damage to the pack mule. However, the pack mule is unimpeded. Its direction is now impeded by the mole. Stunted wolf. Interesting. Nothing else to play. Ring the bell. There it is. No attack damage yet. The caravan moving back and forth. You need to take a squirrel if, but he takes another card because there's nowhere to play the squirrel. Both single. Sacrifice cards available to play for Biff. Take another animal attacker. The opossum. Nowhere to play it yet, which is fine. Ring the bell, Biff. Look closely. Ring the bell. Another tooth. Ooh, that was our magical frog that had rested by the fire. Takes heroic card. Ring the bell. Another tooth, and the pack mule down, yielding its treasure reward. Damage! The prospector says. Here's the downside. Takes a couple of shots. There's something you don't want to do. That is to load up your side before both candles are out. Now there's a candle out. You're gonna see what he does. If that whole bottom row was full of cards, every one of them would turn into a gold node for him. You're about to see 2 cards get hit, but it still leaves me room to move. If you overkill on the first half of this battle, it will not serve you well. Gold nugget, gold nugget. Now, if all 4 cards had been gold nuggets, I would have nothing to do but sit and wait for the attacks to come. Heaven forbid if he had bird strikes. He'd be able to attack over top of the gold nuggets, and I would be helpless, defenseless. Gold! I've struck gold. He thinks so. But it's my turn to fly. Another beast. It's Biff. I can use Biff. Right away, the boneyard's full. Appendix 12, subsection 6, abilities 14, unkillable. When a card bearing this sigil perishes, a copy of it is created in your hand. The Eternal Biff. It's a fantastic card for a death card. It's even got my picture on it. I've also got the pliers. You can turn this tide in a hurry with the pliers. Do you know what they do? Would you like to see what they do? Quickly pull a tooth from your own head and drop that in the opponent's tray. Not once. Twice. The scales tip in your favor. Now you click. He can't take another turn. Everything's coming up, Biff. Why I just rang the bell there? That was what we like to call in the business. Stupid. One squirrel blade. Two squirrels played. The beaver. 2 squirrels equal 1 beaver. That's Canadian math right there. And the Biff. Immortal Biff. The unkillable Biff. Ring the bell. The dog does his damage, but it's far too late. The possum goes out. The bell is rung. The cards are thrown. The team is collected. The end is all but nigh for the mysterious prospector across the way. The bullfrog is summoned. The squirrel is sacrificed. The bell is rung. More damage. Enough damage. Good night. Prospector. Your candle is relit. Your chances are back to full. And there's a card selection. Child 13, Pack Rat, or the Mantis God. Appendix 12, subsection 6, abilities 25, Trifurcated Strike. A card bearing this sigil will strike each opposing space to the left, right, and center of it, making him a juggernaut. Child 13 bears an interesting sigil. Abilities 20 in the same subsection, Many Lives. When a card bearing this sigil is sacrificed, it does not perish. Eternal Blessings. With the sound of the prospector's pickaxe still ringing in your ears, Carry on. We need another map. As the air grows humid, your boots become harder to pull from the mud. The dank smell of tepid water invaded your nostrils. You'd reached the wetlands. That's what she said. Card choice. The wolf cub, the cockroach, and the rattler. The decision is not an easy one at this stage of the game. Abilities 14 unkillable, we know this from the Biff card. The cockroach has minimal attack and health points. But the sigil, as you might see later on, is removable. Again, we have the choice. Again, it's health boost by 2. Again, the risk. Cards available are more this time. The choice is not easy, especially this early in the game. The Kingfisher. Kingfisher now has hit points up to 3. Do we stay? Do we try again? Looks like we do. There is a risk. Ooh, success. Now the Kingfisher has HP of 5. You could risk it again, but that would be foolhardy. So you run, taking your treasured card and moving on to the next combat. Nice top deck, says the Stoat. Child 13 is there. Squirrel is out. Squirrel sacrificed. Child 13 is out. Can be sacrificed as many times as he wants. Biff, you wasted that card. That could haunt you in the very near future, Biff. Play the squirrel, Biff. Stoat does the blocking. Oh, Biff, Child 13 is being wasted. Child 13 is now slain. Bullfrog, yes, you need a squirrel, but you could have been sacrificing Child 13 this entire time, Biff. You fool. Slap the bell. The serpent is gone. The serpent had a sigil of instant death on it. And it still does. The stunted wolf. Oh. Instant death by the adder. The piled up teeth. End that turn for me with the snuffing of the candle. And my chances of dying that much greater. Cards to choose from. Dale Biff. The Rat King and the Adder with the touch of death. Abilities 4. The card bearing this sigil damages another creature. That creature perishes. A fantastic sigil. Ah, the woodcarver. I meet the woodcarver at the table. I ask to see the woodcarver's wares, so that I make a sigil trophy of my own. Ah, the porcupine sigil. Deals 1 damage when attacked. Although my squirrels can't attack, they are now capable of dealing damage when attacked, should they be left on the board longer. Sigil battle. Sigil trophy battle. Now I have my own. It activates automatically. You can see the squirrel gets a sigil as he is born. Now it's time. Squirrel. Summoned. Squirrel. Sacrificed for the stunted wolf. Ring the bell. 2 points of damage, 2 teeth. Resounding buffet. Pulling a card, the bullfrog. Ring the bell. damage times 2. The adder with instant death. The squirrel. Opossum is summoned. Squirrel is summoned. Squirrel is sacrificed for the bullfrog. The bell is rung. Cards drop. Scales drop. Toad survives. Picks a new card. Pack rat. Very expensive card. The adders are out in full force. Everything's dying on my side. There's no choice. Not enough bones. The cockroach can be played. Cockroach cannot be killed. Cockroach deals it. Damage is swaying the other way now. New card, Child 13. Biff still probably doesn't understand how that card works. Looking, panicking. Where to play Child 13, he plays it. Child 13 is now down. Biff can't play any more cards. Ring the bell. The battle is about to take an unfortuitous turn for Biff. Yes, Biff. There's no choice. Stinkbug can't even be played. Ring the bell. Time to die. The second flame will be snuffed. And it is. You made it so far. And then I awake. Back in this room. Creating a death card. I need to check the cost and value of my card. Take the cheapest one you can find. In this case, it's the Kingfisher. 1 sacrifice point. That's how much this death card will cost. Now we choose the power and health. If I was smart, it would be Bullfrog. Bullfrog it is. 4 health, 1 damage. Now the sigil. It can be unkillable. Of course it will be. Now we name the card. Let's come up with something clever. How about F in chat for the death? If you made it this far in the video, comment F in chat for me, would you? The last thing that remains is to look up at the door, see the creepy man, and get your picture taken. It's time to start all over again. Your predecessor fell to a mere totem. Squirrel in the bottle's back. That eye-gouging knife is back. The fishhook is back. And I have my 2 candles lit. My roll of film is still in hand. I don't know what that does yet. And my starting deck is exactly the same. The map is revealed. The picture has changed. Wolf cub in the 1 position, squirrel in the 2 position. If these criteria are met, something should happen. I don't know. We'll find out if we can pull that off. Card choice versus card choice. One's a death card choice. These 3 cards reveal the Warren, the Bloodhound, and the Corpse Maggots. The sigils on them are all interesting. Ability number 11 is Corpse Eater. If a creature that you own perishes by combat, a card bearing this sigil in your hand is automatically played in its place. Corpse Eater. What a fantastic card. Backpack. We know it's full. We're gonna get the pack rat from the pack rat. That's the way it goes. Gimme, pack rat. Next episode is our first combat. First things first, let's get a look at the board. We have Grand Furs playing blocker for us. We have 2 coyotes on deck about to come and engage, and a creepy-ass hand dipping in from the top of the screen. We have a squirrel we can sacrifice, so why not? Bullfrog, looks like you're on deck. Thank you, squirrel, for your service. Ring the bell. 1 tooth of damage. 2 teeth of damage from the enemy. Stinkbug. Stinkbug requires 2. Ring the bell. Ooh, the scales are tipping quickly. Stunted wolf. Ring the bell. Scales continue to tip. Now we have a squirrel at last. We can sacrifice for the stunted wolf. There he goes. Now Stinkbug can be summoned. And ring the bell. Damage done. 2 teeth in this spot, leveling out the scales of damage. Nice top deck, says the stoat. There's the damage dipping down the tray. Drawing of the squirrel, the slapping of the bell, the collecting of the teeth, the winning of the match. Up to the side you can see the trap, then a collection of cards. The trap yields furs depending on how many extra teeth you've managed to grab. The one thing I didn't do was go back by the globe and reap the rewards from the skull. Every time you start afresh, you can get more teeth from him. Right now there's only 2 teeth. You can get a 2nd grade, medium grade pelt, and a freebie. They're guaranteed to give you good cards later on. Back at the wood carver. I'd like to make a new totem sigil. Show me what it has. The bones. When the squirrel's done, you get bones, or bees within. When a card bearing this sigil is struck, a bee is created in your hand. A bee is defined as a 1 power, 1 health airborne creature. Abilities 2. Interesting. Or the bones, the Bone King. 4-to-1 bone ratio. Abilities 12. Take the bones, Biff. Create your sigil trophy. Now let's move on to combat. Next up, we'll see how our draw goes. Sparrows flying, 2 of them on deck. Squirrel. Sacrificing squirrel. All the bones from that. Corpse maggots. Slapping of the bell. 2 teeth on my side. Sparrows doing 1 damage each. Taking of the squirrel. Can't use it for the pack rat Biff. Slap the bell, take 2 teeth. Now it's 4 teeth. Now he's coming with big damage. Here comes the squirrel. Lay 1 down. Lay 2 down. Excellent sacrifice. Excellent. Play the pack rat. Play the corpse maggots. Still have a bottled squirrel there too. Ring the bell. 2 teeth on my side, the scales balance now. It's back and forth action, ladies and gentlemen, just like we like. Take the boss card. Great draw indeed. The stink bug. He offers out the olive branch of peace. I say fuck that shit. And now the damage is being done and the teeth pile up on my side. There's not a thing he can do. It's a wolf belt. It does nothing but take up space. In my hand, on the board, 2 extra teeth at the end of combat, and we're on to another card selection. Of the 3, there's the adder, the otter, and the grizzly. Look at the stats on the grizzly. Enamored with the bear. Looking around, it's still wolf, cub, and squirrel. Now we can rip a sigil from a card by sacrificing it. The Corpse Eater sigil. And we can apply it to a card that needs it. The Grizzly. The Grizzly now becomes a very powerful card. We'll see just how powerful in the next combat, I hope. There's the Grizzly right off the cuff. Not enough, Biff. Stare at it longer, Biff. It's not going to help. You can only choose that card, Biff. You failed. Oh, Biff. That was not a wise play. Ring the bell. 2 teeth. Aha. The fishhook comes in handy. Drop the squirrel, Biff. Now, bring out the bear. Nope, rang the bell. Ring the bell. I don't understand that one, Biff. It's interesting. Extra tooth. Card selection. F in chat. We just built that card. F in chat. If you made it this far in the video, type 2 F's in chat. There's River Snapper. And Skink. Takes the unkillable. To the fire for gambling. Ooh, we opened it. Did you see what we yielded? Amazing, we managed to play those cards in the right order that time. It wasn't our Wolf Cub card either. The hook just came into play. There's nowhere to put this. I know what it does now, but at the time I didn't. You plucked that from the oil painting. Must not like the cards I dealt you. Fine. Onward Biff goes. Choice is quite clear. To the fire. The choice this time is +1 to attack. The risk again is having your creature devoured by the hungry explorers. The talking cards all encourage you not to choose them. Biff has doubled his attack. Not gonna push his luck, not this time. Now it's battle with Prospector again. See if we're equally as successful. Look around and grab some free teeth from the skull. Try to remember that, Biff. Every time. Here we go, Prospector. Put your mask on and do battle. One flame extinguished in exchange for the smoke. Again, the pack mule will be out. Pen it in, do damage. This is the way. The coyote with the pack mule. The smoke. Of course, we want the smoke to take damage. The squirrel is out. Effing chat. Sacrificed and dropped down in front of the pack mule. Doing 2 damage each time. Ring the bell. Pack mule loaded with bonus cards. Thanks for the hint, Stoat. Takes 2 deep worth of shots from the coyote. It's time for the Stoat to put his money where his mouth is. The squirrel is dropped. The Stoat. Total misplay, he says. The rabbit plays block and ring the bell. Teeth on my side. Oof. Lots of shots being fired both sides. Bullfrogs available. The choice is there, Biff. Sacrifice it. He's not happy with that move at all, but he's a butthead. Here comes the cards. Loaded. My mule, curse you. 2 teeth damage on my side. The scales are balanced now. Drawing a squirrel for maximum efficacy. There's 2 after all. Turkey vulture can be played. It is played. Right in front of the wolf. The squirrel played. Sacrifice made. Now the bullfrog is in play. Now ring the bell. 3 points of teeth damage. Ooh, more than that. It was a full stack and out goes 1 now, though. If we remember from last time. There is golden M cards. And now they're turning into nodes. You can see that effing chat returned to my hand because he is unkillable. But now I sit. And I wait. Until the gold nodes are destroyed by the Prospector's hammer. 2 will open up now. Gives me some space. Draw a summoning card. First is the squirrel. Then I can put out the elk. Sacrifice them both, Biff. There we are. The stink bug can be summoned. It's gonna drop the bulldog's attack speed. There's only one thing to do. Ring the bell. That elk is trying to go to my left, but it can't because the gold nugget is in the way. Picking a squirrel up? Why not? Hit the bell, Biff. 2 teeth in my favor. A wolf pelt. Lame-o, Biff. Sacrificing a squirrel. Effing chat. There it goes. Wolf pelt in the way of the adder. Ring the bell. Not quite enough to do the damage we need. This could be it here. The grizzly. Don't have enough juice to do that, but the damage is enough. It's on to the next battle as we snuff the Prospector's candle out. The candles are back and fully lit. card choices are available. The long elk, the strange larva, and the Urayuli. No, Urayuli. We need a new map. Show me the way. And there it is. The new map is revealed. The first choice will be made later. More teeth. Remember, kids, more teeth, more fun. To see just how far this takes us now, you can see the clover below. It allows me to get a new choice of 3 new cards if I don't like the ones available. Cockroach, Adder, and Louie. I've seen Louie before. We know Adder's instant death. That's a great card. The Woodcutter, the Backpack. Backpack is the choice. Squirrel in the bottle. Combat it is. 2 flames of candles. 4 blood sacrifice. I've only got 1 squirrel, Biff. I had a squirrel in a bottle, but the ants are coming. Effin' Chad, the unkillable. Even battle so far. Biff takes the squirrel. No way to make him slap the bell. Slap it, Biff. No! Stab the eye, stab it. Drop it on the scale. Ring the bell. That's a win. New eye. Dr. Strange Eye. Reveal the messages. And on we go. Card selection. The availability. It's the Alpha Wolf. The Woodcarver. See what sigils are made available to us this time from the Woodcarver. A mighty sigil. Some would say an unbeatable sigil. Each squirrel now yields 3 drops of blood. Given the cards that I have, that is a fantastic pull. Nice top deck. Thank you, Stout. Still can't do Urayuli. But I can do Adder. Oh, I could do with the bottle. I never look at the bottle. Could do Urayuli with the bottle. Squirrels times 2 equals 6. That's only 4 sacrifice. Which means Urayuli is on the board. Slap the bell. Look at that. Savage victory indeed, Urayuli. That sigil totem is brilliant. New card selection. River Snapper, Bullfrog, and Skink. The HP of the River Snapper is just too great to resist. Now, remember how I said having 2 of a card would come in handy down the road? Meet the Experimenter. No pairs, so I may choose. We'll wait and see what happens next time. Combat. Squirrel, yielding 3 blood. Excellent. Excellent. Slap the bell. Grizzly for 3. You can't do it again, Biff. Slap the bell. 2, 3, 4 points of damage. Bring up the grizzly. Another win. Well done, Biff. Card selection with the clover. Don't need that with the squirrels, Biff, but whatever. Sigil sacrifice. The one-touch death. Who's going to get it? The stoat. He's very happy with that. The stoat has become that much more deadly. Now we do battle with the fisherman. Snuff goes one of the candles and we get the smoke. A rotten scent caused you to retch. The new mask comes out and the fisherman comes along. Mind that hook indeed. He has the very hook that I used once. He can use it many times. He's very partial to fresh meat, such as the squirrel. Ring the bell. Oh, use of the sand timer. Ring the bell. It's gonna steal the pack rat. It's the squirrel. Ring the bell. One candle snuffed. Here comes a battle. Ring the bell. Well, going for the sacrifice. Now the ringing of the bell. Great white sharks coming from the chum buckets. Well, this is alarming. has come out of the darkness and we wake up back here again to create a death card. Once again. Will I ever get past this? It's free. Take the free card. The beefy hit points. It's obvious. The sigil. The multi-attack, one on each side sigil. Name the card. Go on, Biff. Be creative. Come up with something. Very creative. There's one last thing, Biff. Bufflington. Say cheese. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'm Biff Bufflington. And I'm gonna do part 2 because I have more to share with you. Let me know what you think of this game. It's rather exciting. I enjoy it. I'm still playing it, and you'll see there is more. We get to find out what happens with that roll of film. So, without further ado, I am going to bid you farewell. I'm going to take one last look around the cabin that I'm locked in. Check that I have the order right. Squirrel and mantis. Check for teeth, of course. Freebie. It's a full mouthful of teeth there. Excellent way to start. Back to the table. But we're gonna end it here. Thank you for watching. I'm Biff Bufflington. Stay tuned. Remember to like if you enjoyed.